Go.
Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody. Well, I want to wish you welcome. My name is Mark Relic, and today we have a special chance and opportunity to talk about something greatly exciting. Um, so today also we have we have a very special guest. He is an artist, my long-term friend. And well, basically somebody who participated greatly in our latest endeavor. So, I wouldn't want to put any lengths into introducing this too much. So right now I want to wish my friend welcome. Vlad, how's it going?
Hey man, not bad, not bad.
Well,
Doing the
it's good to
podcast.
have you. It's good to have you. Yeah.
How you doing?
This is an exclusive chance to talk about something we did pretty recently. Actually, yesterday was a premiere. Thanks to you, now we have a very, very, well, how should I put it? It's very artistic expression of something we both do because, we're both patrons of this, whatever this is. Hopefully you can
Short film.
introduce, yeah, maybe you can introduce the whole thing differently than me. But to put it closer, I would just like to say, yesterday was a premiere of our movie together, and it's a short movie called The Walking Man. Um, I was portraying a walking man, somebody who we are going to talk about more in a special conversation. This is very exclusive, so I'm very glad that you guys have a chance to hear and see more of that. Vlad, from your perspective, maybe you can introduce the story from your angle. Maybe you can go ahead and try to tell everybody about you and about what you do and how you put this all together and your emotion about it. So today we're talking about that. On to you.
All right. Well, for anybody who doesn't know me, my primary job is making comic books actually, and I work in illustration and multimedia. And this making of a short, independent, conceptual art film, that I like to call it, was our mutual endeavor and a hobby actually, where we try to find another way to express our creativity while
Right.
experimenting with another form of art form actually.
Mm,
As everybody knows, filmmaking is not easy. It's a not easily accessible thing, but in today's age and
right.
technology, all you need, as James Cameron once said, all you need is a camera, and you're a filmmaker. And
That's
well,
right.
in a way, he wasn't wrong. I wouldn't necessarily say he was completely right, but I would definitely say he wasn't wrong. And when we met and we talked about this to actually do something fun together that doesn't take us any budget or too much
Right.
time, but
Right.
runs on our own mind and creativity,
Hmm.
we decided to do that. So basically, what Mark and I did, this was actually initially my idea. When I approached him, I was like, what do you think about us doing, for example, a short film? And he was like, okay, let's do it. And then we decided to run with that a few months. That was around November 2020 during the pandemic. It was winter, everybody was on
Hmm.
lockdown, and we all kind of went through our lives and sorting our lives and seeing, what's this thing that is happening to everybody globally. So we we were kind of like in the same place and locked, and there
Right.
wasn't much to do. The job stopped. My job particularly stopped. So I didn't have much work at the moment, so
Mhm.
I needed to bridge my creativity, and that was the idea that came. So what we did actually, we went a few months later. We went out and we decided to take some shoots, to take some principal photography and do some shooting outside on a few public locations. And at that very moment, I haven't had much idea what's this film going to be or what's the story going to be. I just went with my gut feel, and we basically made shots on the spot. Mark was being creative, you were being creative, like, in the acting. You had the idea what you want to do there. I was like basically doing the minimalistic pointing, like,
Right,
let's go, let's do the walking over there.
right,
I'm
right,
gonna
right.
shoot it like this, and you just,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just did a small navigational spot where you would go, and the whole how you felt the character, the whole thing, it was up to you. Like I didn't interfere in that creative
Yeah,
side because
yeah.
I didn't actually know what that going to be, and I wanted to get that raw emotional experience from you on spot.
That's right.
So that's the approach that I took actually when doing the initial shooting. So
Right.
do you remember, how you felt while doing? What's on your side of the story? Let's go there.
Sure. Well, yeah. Well,
For you,
that's funny, right? Because I think it's very significant to hear more points of view, and I think, I think I mean, I remember we talked about this like a lot, to actually do something together because I mean we're close and we're good friends and we go back a long way. Um, and this I think this a part of this comes from a background of our passion for the whole shebang, like movies and books and comics and what have you. So um so I think it's also very significant that this character doesn't have a name, uh and he doesn't speak. I mean, in a movie, of course, because the whole thing is based on the novel called The Woods, for those who don't know. The whole movie is you know, obviously a short movie based on that book, which is, I have to say, you know, um, biasly, I'm trying not to be biased, but biasly, it's like a little bit, a little bit out there, so to speak. And so, yeah, the whole thing is based on that. But it was funny because I didn't know that back then. We just juggle with it. We felt it organically. I mean, at least I felt it organically.
it
And
came
I
from
just felt I just needed to do something. I should do something, right, in that sense. But because I mean, um portraying, so to speak, that character, is one way of putting the free interpretation from anybody, as far as that makes sense. And so the thing is, you can watch that movie independently, so you don't have to know anything else. You don't have to read a book if you don't want to. You don't have to have any. You don't need to have any wider knowledge. Um, but I think it rises curiosity for sure. Because when I, funnily enough, when I watch it, I kind of know, I want to know more about it, like what's behind, like what is going on here, right? Like especially given that it's quiet, it's a silent movie, 10 minutes, like we just shoot the shit, that's it. And um and so there's a purpose of why there's no script, there's no nothing, just we just did it. um and so this
But there is
character
a
is
story, or although there is no script, there is a story to it.
absolutely, well,
The
yeah,
story is
no matter
kind of
how, yeah,
fictional
yeah, no,
and interactive because
that's right,
in all that thing that there is no story, there is a story, and then
yeah,
partially the audience is the one that is going to like
oh sure,
imagine the rest of the story because we have something like
yeah,
we have the backbone, but you add the meat and
that's right.
everything else. So
Yeah, 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 of course. I mean, well, if you want a story, again, this movie tags along with the novel. If you want a deeper story, go get a novel and read it. Over there, there's a the whole story behind this person, so-called the Walking Man, how he came about. So if you care to know more, you just get the novel and you have more into it. Not to say details, um, but still, still the existence of this character remains mystery. even to me. That's why it's so funny and so strange talking about this character, because I mean, great his existence, and I intentionally say his because it's a he, is mysterious, in great part, in great length, because I mean, if you ask me who he is, I just, I'm afraid that that I am not going to have a satisfying answer, um, because he can be, just like, in a book, he can be anybody, each and any one of us. Um, but the free spirit of this take is like when you see it and when you read about it, it can be you, it can be him or her or it. It's open to interpretation. That was kind of my goal. I wanted to leave it open. That's why it has no text. I mean, the script, just a silent, because you can see him, and then and when you see a movie, it's like you don't even see me anymore. It's this person. I don't matter. I mean, at least to me. I mean, when I look at that character in a movie, I don't see myself. I see somebody else.
Well, that's why it's
Pretty much
called
like in a
acting.
book.
You
What's
act.
that? Yeah.
That's why
Oh,
it's
well,
called
sure.
acting. You act. You
Thank you for
portray a
calling acting.
character.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, well, yeah. I mean,
Independent acting. Okay, independent acting. Like indie.
sure, sure, sure. Yeah. Basically, it's a um. I had it in mind, like, intentionally silent, because I think it speaks, uh, by not saying anything. I'm not sure if that makes sense. It speaks by
It
not saying
does.
anything, because like, when you see that so-called banal, cadra, banal shot, um, maybe you can't help but notice. Maybe you can't help it, but by asking yourself, like, okay, well, what is this? Am I looking at? Like, whether you focus 5 minutes or half an hour, it doesn't matter how long. So I think that's a pretty significant thing. And also, like I mentioned before, um, um, unavoidable, thing about it is it's basically based on a novel called The Woods, which is out there widely now. And yes, and just in worth of mentioning, we had a pretty good thing going on with this one, because we were shown in Los Angeles, in a very, very significant event of, LA Time Book Fair. So over there, and people love it. We had a good feedback, and now we received the invitation for Frankfurt later this year in October. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Because I think there's a good chance for me to be there in person, to, like, to greet fans, to sign books, to have interaction, whatever comes. So yeah, that's what we're negotiating right now. And so yeah, so who knows, right? Who knows what this can bring, what this can mean? But I think it's very, very, it's very, um it's very, interesting, how this came about, because we both of us, we had no idea. Basically, we didn't have any idea what we are doing, really. We just had an idea to do something like this, like
It
you
just
said, to
came about.
express. Right, 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 to express. And we just had a, like, some kind of a, we had a time off, and we just felt like, I mean, let's do something. Let's see what this can awake. um and funny thing about that is that I didn't have a feeling, throughout the whole thing of recording, of the shooting. I had no feeling that you actually record me, because I just, I did my thing and you did yours, and I didn't have that feeling per se that you're around me with the camera. And I, half of the time, I didn't know where you were, like, whether you were behind me or around me, or, I mean, I don't know. I didn't know, and I just did it. I just, I set myself to uh, to a position. What would the walking man would do? I mean, believe me, I'm still trying to figure out who he is. Uh, because he can be anybody, right? He is very, very strange. And he came like that to me. Of course, for all the folks listening and watching, basically, that's the way he came. He came totally. I don't want to say uninvited, but he came sort of uh, um, how should I put it? Without any cues, without any warnings. Like, nothing was out there. Like, oh, nothing was inviting him. Nothing was out there to call for
Maybe
him.
he invited himself.
Well, that's how they usually come. Actually, that's how they usually come. They invite themselves, and then I see them. Hopefully, I recognize them, because the man walking is not the only one. There are other characters like him. But this one was very significant because very significant because the story gets funnier and stranger and more mystical as the story prolongs, and it takes you actually to the place where the novel takes place in, so-called the woods, and then the whole thing gets revealed step by step, and you get to be a part of um, well, something you really discover for yourself. So I can't speak, uh, you know, for other people, and I wouldn't want to. I just can say that, how is it for me? Because um, I still think about what actually happened in that woods. That doesn't leave me. So so yeah. Um, Basically, when the whole story goes there, that's basically how when actually the novel starts. And you read the novel, you can justify to that. You can
Yeah,
you can
yeah, it does.
so right. So but so I would like to send this ball to you. Um, uh, uh, Pretty much about the similar thing you pointed out. So how conscious were you? How conscious, on what level of consciousness were you experiencing when you were actually making those shots? Like, I mean, I guess I'm asking, like, I would, yeah, if you could, I think it would be very interesting to hear all the intricacies about all the step all the way, because I mean, how much did you know what you were doing, and how that actually looks like, or did you like just figuring that out on the way, step by step? Sometimes that works too. So would you mind sharing with the audience about your process while you were making it?
Yeah, sure. Well, I was conscious enough to know what I want to get from the shot,
Right.
and I was actually concerned about two things in while we were shooting. The first one was that had you locked in a shot, like
Right.
to be like a focal point, central, because for the compositional
Right.
uh,
Right. Right.
for the composition of a shot. And the second one was, to be as much stable as I can,
Mm,
because I was recording with my hands, and when you record with your
mm.
hands, but you don't have a stabilizer or any kind of
Right. Right.
you know,
Right.
advanced gadget, everything is like
Sure.
doing that. So those were the two things that were like most important for me while I was shooting. I was thinking about how I'm gonna glide the camera and how I'm gonna uh, guide the
Hmm.
shooting and rockers
Hmm.
and everything.
Hmm.
Suddenly on the fly, I was making that up.
Yeah.
We were going on
Hmm.
the spot, but that's pretty much it. I didn't thought about story. I didn't thought about composition, music, or anything. Actually,
Right. Right. Right.
I didn't know what the story would be in the editing section
Yeah.
until I actually found the music that I wanted. So I wanted to put music
Hmm.
on. That's what I knew
Hmm.
that I wanted.
Hmm.
But I had a peculiar kind of taste what that music wanted to be. I wanted
Yeah.
some to be something that kind of dreamy,
Hmm.
something that's going to have its own story in it, that's going to guide you through the musical aesthetical. Sorry,
It's okay.
my earring fell out.
It's okay. We forgive you.
I okay. I was looking for a music that had a story in it, actually. and I
Mm.
based the cut,
Yeah,
the editing, and everything,
right.
like shots line up, based on that music. So I
Mm.
tried to connect the film with the music to create, kind of like a adaptation, actually adaptation of a musical experience. Now
Exactly.
the peculiar thing is that like the filming inspired you to tell a story
Oh yeah.
that he actually based the film upon. So kind of like it was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
story before it was the story without the
The
story
whole
within.
circle. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
It's
right.
kind of like a metaphysical,
Yeah, yeah.
metaphorical, like
Oh yeah.
complex,
Greatly,
kind of
yes.
paradoxical thing that actually
Mhm.
turned out to work beautifully for what it is and how it was made, actually.
Right, right, right. I think it's very, yes, you're right. It's very, I agree. It's very significant, the music in the movie. And actually, when I saw it for the first time, I was taken by it. I was totally surprised. Like, what? I didn't expect that at all. Uh, quite honestly, I didn't quite know you had it in you. Um, honestly, I mean, with all due respect, you know how I feel about your work. And then I wanted to share that emotion because like you said, the music plays a part in the movie, the part that language doesn't. But basically everything speaks its own language, like the camera, the shot, the lights, the time, which doesn't happen, by the way. So everybody can get their own sense of time. And then so when you see how the whole thing moves and takes on, and each step of the way, uh, introducing different kinds of sounds and music. So basically, music takes
Just
on.
music. We
Uh,
didn't do sounds. We just only did music.
well, sure, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, it works beautifully because obviously, you and I, we showed this movie separately before it went to Los Angeles. We showed this movie to separately to people, and everybody was taken because they thought we actually used professional gear, and it was so funny. And that goes to show that actually the whole thing looks with the quality. It possesses the quality, no matter what's behind. And it was so interesting to me, because you know uh, um, I I always felt the musical impact, the sound impact in a movie, because music actually can tell you more than script. I'm not sure if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
Some Yeah, sometimes, like in instances like this, um of course it depends on the story, but this one speaks the language of the sound of the music and the songs that were actually in the movie. So I think anything else would be just extensive and a little bit confusing. um and so yeah, that's one of the significant things, because like I said, I have got pretty good feedback from others. As you know, everybody likes it. Considering they had zero knowledge, they had zero background about what we did, and how we did it. Um, and so yeah, thinking about that endeavor kind of puts me on for the next best thing. So you, uh, and me, both of us, we never did anything like this before. So
No, first time experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, first time. But we have been long term passionates and patrons of it. So how do you feel? What's your emotion behind it? Like, I mean, for example, like, uh, is it better for you to know what you're doing or not to know? For example, like, let's say next best thing for you that follows. Like, do you like to know what it is, or do you like to find out as you go along? What serves you better, if you know what I mean?
Well, I'm not sure you can really actually know what's gonna come next. You can
Mm,
you can kind of like contemplate it, like imagine, dream about it, like make
mm,
plans. But in my own experience, I always trying to like, project what's going to happen next. That's kind of like my what if, you know,
Right,
creative contemplations. But
right,
what the life showed me, so far is that basically things never happen the way uh, I was thinking they would happen.
right,
Usually,
right. Oh, same.
usually they happen for the better.
Yes,
Um,
true.
then I actually projected they would happen, but so far I have no clue what's coming next. So
Right. Oh, so
I have some boundaries in which direction I'm going. I know where I'm going,
mm,
but
mm,
what's gonna, wake me there, how I'm gonna get
mhm.
to there, I don't know. I know the next step
Yeah,
eventually, I can see the next step when it's really like, close by,
yeah, yeah.
but it like, and sometimes I think like that's how the world works for
I
everybody,
guess
not
so.
just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's enough. Like like the next step to take, and then that one is going to take you to the next one, to the next one, and to the next one, and that's uh that's
Yeah,
it.
because
So,
I remember you told me you were so captivated, you were so into it that you were on fire and you were ready to just take a gear and record whatever, because
the
you yeah.
the heat
Go
of the
ahead.
moment, you got the creative passion,
Well, you
and
gotta
like
you gotta keep that
you,
heat,
you
man.
dream
You
up the
gotta keep it.
possibility, like what if, and
That's right. You gotta keep that heat going.
yeah,
Um,
dreaming is free, so why not?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Well, conditionally speaking, free. So, so yeah, and I think one more thing is would be interesting for us to announce. Actually, um, since the last time we chatted, we had a conversation of actually making this into a small comic. Uh, ain't that right?
Yeah, yeah. We had that conversation, so we'll see to like,
Oh yeah,
make it,
sure.
you
Oh, I,
know,
I would like to see it,
short story, yeah, in a
and
short story, a
yeah,
few
and
pages.
I wouldn't know anybody better uh to work on this than yourself. Um, because you are familiar and you know the emotional core behind it. Yeah, yeah, and so I just couldn't think of I wouldn't think of anybody else. But folks, whoever is listening and watching, that's a bug for you. So we are free. I think we can be free to say that we can make a small buzz about this. And but actually, this is very raw. We just talked about this last night, and but I know that when once we say something like that, it's on emotion. So it's only the matter of when, not if. Right, Vlad?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
when is happening, I don't know when exactly, but like say,
Well, I mean, the bug
year
is
or
out there, right?
so, we'll
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we'll do it. Right now, I think we need to like let it brew a little, like to
Sure.
all and to breathe, to see what's gonna
Yeah.
happen, and
Right. Right.
let the film lives its own life for a little, and then we're gonna come back to it a bit later with
Oh, absolutely.
changes
Yeah.
and adaptations, and make it a short story, like a few pages, four,
Basic.
6 pages could be really nice short story
Yeah.
for a
Oh,
comic
yeah.
book. So that's that's gonna happen, in a future definitely, because
Yeah.
why not? And yeah,
Sure.
that's it.
I mean, yeah, but basically, the whole thing is free. Uh, and like anybody can see it. We are not looking into making anything out of this other than creating more work, being more creative. So, but again, um, if you feel like going in the background, if you're going deep more, you can always get the woods and you can find out about more. I can stand behind, and maybe Vlad, you can confirm. I mean, for sure, you're gonna get dip into it, and no one knows what can get you in the woods. Vlad?
Yeah, well, that's the power of art, and this is especially kind of this type of art, which is kind of like visceral feel, where you go and you actually have that closure for yourself
Sure,
while
sure.
reading and exploring. You actually close the story on your own, and that's kind of like the more interactivity to that
Yeah,
storytelling, because we
that's
did,
right.
you know, it's the thing that we did is kind of like minimalistic, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you gotta be more interactive and creative to add to it, or just take it as is. So
Mm, mm,
it's
mm.
up to the audience to do with it what they want, to
Right.
experience the way they
Always.
from their own perspective, and
Yes.
that's the most beautiful thing about this type of work that we did, because it
Sure.
was the free flow, it was
Yeah.
the free flow, the free creativity, and we
Mhm.
put something into it together, and that's it. So
Well,
that
basically, basically, can I can simply feel there are more things coming in a way of the walking man, so he keeps walking. And I would just like to point out that like I said, movies free, guys. You can catch it everywhere, basically. So you can go to markrelic.com. You can check it out there. You can check our social networks, like all the familiar platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. But I think Vlad is more professional into that. He can say it more. So Vlad, would you like to add any additional impression on the woods the novel? The whole movie is based on that. So would you care to share any other impression about anything?
well, as far as I remember, it was pretty much organic and raw and
Mm, yeah,
introspective experience while I read the book,
right.
and it was different experience for me than it was for you. So, and it's going to be
Absolutely.
different for it's took a few surprising turns,
Oh
few
yeah.
surprising moments, so made me think on a few occasions. So I think that's a good thing.
Yes.
So
Sure,
whenever
sure, sure.
people got to read the book in order to get the experience for themselves.
Well, yeah, yeah, and to
We're,
get
we're
the greater
running
picture. Yeah.
we are running out of time.
Yeah,
So
sure. So, okay, right before we close, I want to thank you for participating. I want to thank you for doing this with me, and also want to thank you for sharing the word to everybody out there. So, yeah, great thing we did here. Anything else you want to share?
no, I think we're good. I think we covered pretty much a lot of things on making
Mhm.
this thing to try to clear
Right.
clear for the audiences. So, and
Mhm.
you gotta leave something for the audience to
Right,
find
right,
it
right.
themselves. So I
Sure.
think we pointed out a lot of details
And
and
yes, we had
clues.
excellent. All right, cool. So, folks out there, I want to thank you all for. I mean, if you stay this long, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Vlad, same to you. Thank you for all your hard work. No, I mean it. You know, I mean it. And cheers for all the future endeavors. So yeah, and let the word out for many, many more things to come our way. I know they will. Yeah, everybody, this is it. It was a very, very special edition conversation about this movie we did, and also the novel. You can get it anywhere. The movie's free. Thanks to my dear friend Vlad. Now it's out there, and yeah. So stay tuned. We you can reach us easily. We are not so difficult to reach. So yeah, just do whatever you will, do whatever makes you happy, and until some other chance. Cheers, everybody. Vlad, thanks.
Bye, everybody.